In the dazzling world of fashion, where dreams are woven from fabric and color, there lived a woman named Maya. She was not just a designer. She was a warrior, someone who had weathered the storms of life and found the light at the end of the tunnel. But Maya's story was not merely about glamorous outfits or sparkling runways. It was an emotional journey where pain and betrayal became the very inspiration for her rebirth. As Maya stood before the mirror, admiring her reflection in a dress she had designed herself, she saw not just an ambitious designer, she saw a woman who had overcome challenges, learned to love herself, and discovered the strength within. Her story began on a fateful evening when a bold decision changed her life forever. Join us as we follow Maya's journey, from budding dreams to dazzling successes, and explore how she transformed her pain into power, shining brightly in the competitive world of fashion. Maya, a 35-year-old fashion designer living in the bustling heart of New York City, had always been the epitome of success. With her unique designs gracing the runways and her name becoming synonymous with elegance, she had built a life that many envied. Yet, behind the glamour and the flashing lights, her personal life was crumbling. Her husband, Jake, a 40-year-old financial investor, had been her partner for over a decade. They had shared dreams, laughter, and countless memories. But lately, something had shifted. Jake had become distant, often lost in his phone, and his late nights at the office had become more frequent. Maya had brushed off her concerns, attributing them to the pressures of work. Then came the fateful day when everything changed. Maya received a text that shattered her world. "I'm leaving you for a 25-year-old. I've already moved in with her." The words felt like a punch to the gut. Jake had not only decided to end their marriage, but had also taken the liberty of moving on with someone half her age. As she read the message, a whirlwind of emotions surged through her. Shock, anger, and betrayal. But amidst the chaos, a calm resolve began to form. Maya knew she couldn't let this define her. Instead of succumbing to despair, she decided to take control of her life. This was not the end. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one where she would reclaim her power and dignity. With a deep breath, Maya set her phone down, her mind racing with thoughts of what to do next. She would not be a victim in this story. Instead, she would become the author of her own fate. Maya sat in her chic apartment, the city skyline stretching out before her, a stark contrast to the turmoil brewing inside. She took a moment to gather her thoughts, reflecting on the signs she had ignored. The late nights, the secretive phone calls, the sudden change in Jake's demeanor. Each moment now felt like a piece of a puzzle she had been too blind to see. At first, she had attributed Jake's behavior to the usual stresses of life. They had been together for years, and like any couple, they had their ups and downs. But as time went on, the distance between them grew. Jake had become more absorbed in his work, often dismissing her concerns with a wave of his hand. "It's just a phase," she had told herself, hoping that things would return to normal. But now, as she replayed those moments in her mind, she realized that Jake had been planning his escape long before he sent that text. The thought stung, but it also ignited a fire within her. She had been patient, but now it was time to act. Maya was not one to back down easily, and she refused to let Jake's betrayal dictate her future. Determined to regain control, she began to formulate a plan. She would not only protect herself, but also ensure that Jake faced the consequences of his actions. The first step was to secure her finances. Maya had always been the one to manage their money, and she knew exactly how to navigate the system. With a sense of purpose, she opened her laptop and logged into their joint bank account. Her fingers danced across the keyboard as she initiated small, calculated transfers to her personal account. It was a strategy she had learned from years of working in the fashion industry. Always stay one step ahead. As she watched the numbers change on the screen, a sense of empowerment washed over her. This was just the beginning. She would not only safeguard her assets, but also prepare for the inevitable confrontation with Jake. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the world lift slightly off her shoulders. She was ready to reclaim her life, and nothing would stand in her way. With her finances secured, Maya felt a surge of confidence. She knew that Jake would soon realize something was amiss, and she wanted to be ready for that moment. The next step in her plan was to ensure that he couldn't easily access the life they had built together. Maya had always been meticulous about their belongings, and she had a few valuable items that Jake had no idea she was planning to sell. Among them was a stunning vintage handbag that had been a gift from her late grandmother, worth a small fortune. She carefully took it out of her closet, admiring its craftsmanship, and decided it was time to part with it. Next, she turned her attention to their car, a sleek luxury vehicle that Jake had always taken pride in. Maya had the title in her name, and she knew that if she acted quickly, she could sell it without Jake's knowledge. She contacted a trusted friend who owned a car dealership and arranged for a discreet sale. The money from the sale would go directly into her personal account, further solidifying her financial independence. As she executed her plan, Maya felt a sense of satisfaction. She was no longer the passive partner in this relationship. She was taking charge of her destiny. But she knew that Jake would soon start to panic when he realized that his access to their shared life was slipping away. To prepare for that moment, Maya decided to consult with a lawyer. She wanted to ensure that she was fully informed about her rights and options moving forward. After a brief consultation, she felt reassured that she had a solid case for divorce, especially with the evidence of Jake's infidelity and financial mismanagement. With each step she took, Maya felt more empowered. She was no longer the woman who would sit back and let life happen to her. Instead, she was the architect of her own future, and she was determined to make it a bright one. As the days passed, Maya continued to execute her plan with precision. She huddled over her laptop, drafting emails to Jake's business partners, subtly hinting at the discrepancies she had noticed in their financial dealings. She wanted to ensure that when the time came, Jake would not only face the consequences of his personal betrayal, but also the professional fallout. Maya could almost picture Jake's face when he realized that his carefully constructed world was beginning to crumble. The thought brought a smile to her lips. She was ready for the showdown, and she would not back down. Days turned into a week, and Maya felt a mix of anticipation and excitement. She knew it was only a matter of time before Jake would start to notice the changes. The first sign came when her phone buzzed with a call from him. She let it ring, allowing the tension to build. Jake's voice was frantic when he finally reached her. "Maya, I need to talk to you. What's going on with the bank account? I tried to withdraw some money and it's all gone." Maya took a deep breath, savoring the moment. "Oh, really? I thought you were doing just fine with your new life," she replied, her tone calm and collected. "What do you mean? This isn't funny. I need that money," he snapped, his frustration palpable. Maya could hear the panic in his voice, and it felt empowering. "You should have thought about that before you decided to leave me for someone else, Jake. You took everything from me, remember?" There was a pause on the other end, and she could almost hear him scrambling to piece together what was happening. "What did you do?" he finally asked, his voice low and strained. Maya smiled, taking a sip of her coffee. "Oh, sweetheart, you should have been paying more attention. I've been preparing for this moment for a long time." The silence that followed was deafening. Maya could feel the weight of her words sinking in. She had been 3 steps ahead of him all along, and now he was left in the dark, grappling with the reality of his choices. "Listen, we can work something out," Jake pleaded, his tone shifting from anger to desperation. "I didn't mean for it to end like this. We can fix this." Maya shook her head, even though he couldn't see her. "Fix what exactly? You've already made your choice. You thought you could walk away without consequences, but here we are." She could hear him exhale sharply, the realization hitting him like a ton of bricks. "I didn't think you would actually do this," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, Maybe you should have thought about that before you sent that text, Maya replied, her voice steady. You gave it all away, Jake. I'm just making sure you understand the weight of your decisions. With that, she ended the call, feeling a rush of exhilaration. She had taken back her power, and there was no turning back now. As she sat in her apartment, the city lights twinkling outside, Maya felt a sense of freedom wash over her. She was no longer bound by the chains of betrayal. She was free to forge her own path. As the days passed, Maya watched as Jake's world began to unravel. He had always prided himself on being in control, but now he was spiraling. The frantic calls and messages became more frequent, each one more desperate than the last. Maya let them ring, allowing him to stew in his own chaos. One evening, as she was preparing dinner, her phone buzzed with a new message from Jake. I need to talk to you. This isn't just about the money. I'm in trouble. Maya paused, a smirk creeping onto her face. She had anticipated this moment. What kind of trouble? She replied, feigning innocence. I can't get into details, but I need your help. I thought we could work something out. He texted back, his tone shifting from demanding to pleading. Maya felt a surge of satisfaction. This was the moment she had been waiting for. Help you? After everything you've done? You really think I owe you anything? Jake's response was immediate. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just trying to find happiness. Can't we talk about this like adults? Maya took a deep breath, savoring the irony of his words. You mean like adults? You're the one who chose to run away and leave me for someone else. You made your bed, Jake. Now you have to lie in it. She could almost hear him pacing on the other end, frustration and panic mixing in his voice. I thought I could count on you. We built a life together. You can't just throw that away. Maya leaned back in her chair, feeling a sense of empowerment. You're right. We did build a life together, but you chose to destroy it. I'm not the one who walked away. The silence that followed was heavy, filled with the weight of unspoken truths. Maya knew that Jake was beginning to understand the gravity of his situation. He had underestimated her, thinking she would simply fall apart without him, but she was stronger than he realized. Days turned into weeks, and the fallout from Jake's actions began to manifest in other ways. Maya received calls from his business partners, some expressing concern over the discrepancies she had hinted at in her emails. They were starting to question Jake's integrity, and Maya couldn't help but feel a sense of vindication. One afternoon, she received a call from her lawyer, who informed her that Jake's financial troubles were escalating. He's losing clients, Maya. The rumors are spreading, and it's only a matter of time before he faces serious consequences, the lawyer explained. Maya felt a mix of emotions: satisfaction, relief, and a tinge of sadness for the man she once loved. But she quickly reminded herself that this was not about revenge. It was about reclaiming her life and ensuring that Jake faced the repercussions of his choices. As she prepared for the next steps in her life, Maya felt a sense of clarity. She was ready to move forward, leaving the past behind her. The city outside her window buzzed with life, and for the first time in a long while, she felt truly alive. As the weeks rolled on, Maya found herself in a new rhythm. She was thriving in her work, pouring her energy into her fashion designs and reconnecting with friends she had neglected during her marriage. Each day felt like a fresh start, a step further away from the pain Jake had caused her. But she knew that the final confrontation was inevitable. One evening, as she was wrapping up a successful presentation for her latest collection, her phone buzzed with an incoming call. It was Jake. She hesitated for a moment, then answered, ready to face whatever he had to say. Maya, we need to talk, he said, his voice strained and weary. Talk? About what? The money you lost? The life you threw away? She replied, her tone steady. I'm serious. I'm in a bad place right now. I've lost clients and I can't even pay my bills. I need your help, he admitted, vulnerability creeping into his voice. Maya felt a flicker of sympathy but quickly pushed it aside. "Help you? After everything you've done, you think I owe you anything?" "I know I messed up. I was selfish and I didn't think about the consequences, but I'm asking you to be reasonable. We can work this out," he pleaded, desperation evident in his tone. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "Jake, you made your choice. You left me for someone else, and now you're facing the fallout. This is not my responsibility." There was a long pause, and she could hear him struggling to find the right words. "I thought I could start over, but it's not what I expected. I thought I could count on you to help me through this," he finally said, his voice breaking. Maya felt a mix of emotions: anger, sadness, and a sense of closure. "You thought wrong. You took everything from me, and now you're learning what it feels like to have nothing. This is the consequence of your actions." Jake's silence spoke volumes. She could almost picture him sitting in a dimly lit hotel room, grappling with the reality of his choices. "I didn't think it would end like this," he finally admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "Neither did I," Maya replied, her voice steady. "But you made your bed, Jake. Now you have to lie in it." With that, she ended the call, feeling a sense of finality wash over her. She had stood her ground, and for the first time, she felt truly free. As she looked out at the city skyline, the lights twinkling like stars, Maya realized that she was no longer defined by her past. She was ready to embrace the future, one filled with possibilities and new beginnings. In the days that followed, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose. The weight of her past was lifting, and she was ready to embrace the future. She threw herself into her work, channeling her emotions into her designs. Each piece she created was a reflection of her journey, bold, resilient, and unapologetically her. Maya also began reconnecting with friends she had lost touch with during her marriage. She organized a small gathering at her apartment, inviting her closest friends to celebrate her newfound freedom. As they laughed and shared stories, Maya felt a warmth in her heart that she hadn't experienced in a long time. It was a reminder that she was not alone. She had a support system that would always be there for her. During the gathering, one of her friends, Sarah, noticed the change in Maya. "You seem different, Maya. Lighter, happier. What's going on?" she asked, a knowing smile on her face. Maya took a sip of her wine, feeling a sense of pride. "I finally took control of my life. I realized that I don't need to rely on anyone else for my happiness." "I'm reclaiming my power," she replied, her voice filled with conviction. As the night went on, Maya shared snippets of her journey, from the initial shock of Jake's betrayal to her strategic planning and eventual empowerment. Her friends listened intently, offering support and encouragement. It felt good to share her story, to let others know that she had emerged stronger from the experience. The following week, Maya received an unexpected call from her lawyer. "Maya, I have some news regarding Jake. He's facing serious repercussions at work due to the financial discrepancies you pointed out. It seems he's lost a significant number of clients," the lawyer explained. Maya felt a mix of emotions: satisfaction, relief, and a tinge of sadness for the man she once loved. "I didn't want this to happen to him, but he brought it upon himself," she said, her voice steady. Introduced her. "Just remember you did what you had to do to protect yourself. You're moving forward, and that's what matters," the lawyer reassured her. With each passing day, Maya felt more empowered. She began to explore new opportunities in her career, considering collaborations and projects that excited her. She even started planning a fashion show to showcase her latest collection, a celebration of her journey and resilience. As the date of the show approached, Maya poured her heart and soul into the preparations. She envisioned a night filled with elegance and strength, a testament to her growth. The excitement in the air was palpable, and she could feel the energy of her friends and supporters rallying behind her. On the night of the show, Maya stood backstage, her heart racing with anticipation. As the lights dimmed and the music began, she took a deep breath, ready to step into the spotlight. This was her moment, a celebration of her journey, her strength, and her newfound freedom. As the first model stepped onto the runway, Maya felt a rush of adrenaline. The lights illuminated the space, casting a warm glow over the audience, and she could see familiar faces among the crowd, friends, family, and colleagues who had supported her through her journey. This was not just a fashion show. It was a celebration of resilience, empowerment, and the beauty of starting anew. Each model walked confidently, showcasing Maya's latest collection, which was inspired by her experiences. The designs were bold and vibrant, reflecting her journey from heartbreak to strength. As the audience clapped and cheered, Maya felt a sense of pride swell within her. She had poured her heart into every stitch, every fabric, and now it was all coming to life. As the final model took her turn on the runway, Maya stepped out from behind the scenes, her heart racing. The applause grew louder and she couldn't help but smile. This was her moment to shine, to show the world that she was not defined by her past, but rather by her ability to rise above it. Maya took a deep breath and walked to the center of the stage, the spotlight shining brightly on her. "Thank you all for being here tonight," she began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "This collection is not just about fashion. It's about reclaiming our power and embracing who we truly are. Life may throw challenges our way, but it's how we respond that defines us." The audience erupted in applause, and Maya felt a wave of support wash over her. She continued, "I want to dedicate this show to anyone who has ever felt lost or broken. Remember, you have the strength to rise again. You are not alone." As she spoke, Maya glanced at the front row, where her friends were cheering her on, their faces beaming with pride. She felt a sense of gratitude for their unwavering support, and it reminded her of how far she had come. After her speech, Maya took a moment to soak in the atmosphere. The energy in the room was electric, and she could see the excitement in the eyes of the audience. This was a night to remember, a night that marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. As the show concluded, Maya was overwhelmed with joy. She received flowers and compliments from attendees, and the positive feedback poured in. It was a validation of her hard work and determination, a reminder that she had made the right choice in reclaiming her life. Later that evening, as she celebrated with her friends, Maya felt a sense of closure regarding her past with Jake. She had faced her fears, embraced her strength, and emerged victorious. The pain of betrayal had transformed into a powerful catalyst for growth. As the night wore on, Maya realized that she was ready to move forward, leaving the shadows of her past behind. She was excited about the future, filled with new opportunities and adventures waiting to unfold. In the weeks following the fashion show, Maya felt a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. The success of the event had opened doors she never imagined possible. She received offers for collaborations, invitations to showcase her designs in other cities, and even interest from a few fashion magazines wanting to feature her work. It was exhilarating, and she was ready to embrace every opportunity that came her way. Maya also took the time to reflect on her personal growth. She had learned so much about herself through the challenges she faced. The heartbreak and betrayal had initially felt like a heavy burden, but now they were stepping stones that led her to a brighter future. She began journaling her thoughts, documenting her journey, and exploring her dreams beyond fashion design. One evening, while sipping tea on her balcony, she contemplated the idea of starting a mentorship program for young women in the fashion industry. She wanted to share her experiences and empower others to find their voices, just as she had. The thought filled her with excitement, and she immediately began drafting a plan. As she reached out to local schools and community centers, Maya was met with enthusiasm. Many young women were eager to learn about fashion design, entrepreneurship, and the importance of resilience. She organized workshops, inviting industry professionals to share their insights and experiences. The program quickly gained traction, and Maya found herself inspired by the passion and creativity of the young women she was mentoring. Meanwhile, Jake's situation continued to deteriorate. Maya learned through mutual acquaintances that he was struggling to regain his footing in the financial world. The fallout from his actions had cost him not only clients, but also the respect of his peers. While part of her felt a twinge of sympathy, she reminded herself that he had made his choices, and now he had to face the consequences. One day, as Maya was preparing for a workshop, she received an unexpected message from Jake. "Can we talk? I need to apologize," it read. Maya hesitated, her heart racing. Part of her wanted to ignore it, to move on without looking back, but another part of her felt a sense of closure was necessary. She decided to meet him, not out of a desire to rekindle anything, but to finally put the past to rest. They agreed to meet at a cafe in the city. As she arrived, Maya felt a mix of emotions: nervousness, curiosity, and a hint of apprehension. When she saw Jake sitting at a table, looking worn and defeated, her heart softened slightly. "Thank you for meeting me," he said, his voice low. "I know I don't deserve it, but I wanted to apologize for everything. I was selfish and thoughtless, and I never considered how my actions would affect you." Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "Thank you for saying that, Jake. It means a lot. But I also want you to understand that I've moved on. I've found my strength, and I'm building a life that makes me happy." He nodded, his expression a mix of regret and understanding. "I see that now. I was so caught up in my own desires that I didn't realize what I was losing. I'm truly sorry for how I treated you." Maya appreciated his honesty, but she knew that their paths had diverged. "I hope you find your way back, Jake, but I can't be a part of that journey anymore. I need to focus on my own life." As they parted ways, Maya felt a sense of relief wash over her. She had faced her past, acknowledged the pain, and now she was ready to fully embrace her future. With each passing day, Maya continued to thrive in her career and her mentorship program. She was building a community of strong, empowered women, and it filled her with joy. The journey had not been easy, but it had shaped her into the person she was meant to be. As the months rolled on, Maya's mentorship program flourished. She found immense joy in guiding young women who were eager to break into the fashion industry. Each workshop was filled with creativity and inspiration, and Maya felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she watched her mentees grow in confidence and skill. They shared their dreams, fears, and aspirations, and Maya was honored to be a part of their journeys. One day, during a particularly engaging workshop, Maya noticed a young woman named Lila who seemed shy and hesitant to participate. After the session, Maya approached her. "You have so much potential, Lila. I'd love to hear more about your ideas," she encouraged. Lila looked up, her eyes wide with surprise. "Really? I've always wanted to design my own collection, but I didn't think I was good enough," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Maya smiled warmly. "Everyone starts somewhere. Let's work on your designs together. I believe in you." Over the next few weeks, Maya and Lila collaborated closely. They spent hours sketching, brainstorming, and refining Lila's ideas. Maya was impressed by Lila's creativity and passion, and she felt a sense of pride in nurturing this budding talent. As Lila's confidence grew, so did her designs. Maya encouraged her to submit her work to a local fashion competition, and to her delight, Lila was selected as a finalist. The day of the competition was filled with excitement and nerves, and Maya stood by Lila's side, offering support and encouragement. When Lila's name was announced as the winner, the room erupted in applause. Tears of joy filled Lila's eyes as she hugged Maya tightly. "I couldn't have done this without you," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with emotion. Maya felt a swell of pride. "You did this all on your own, Lila. You believed in yourself, and that's what made the difference." The success of Lila's collection inspired Maya to consider launching her own line of clothing. She had always dreamed of creating a brand that embodied empowerment and resilience, and now felt like the perfect time to take that leap. With the support of her friends and mentees, she began to sketch out her vision. As she worked on her new collection, Maya also continued to receive recognition in the fashion industry. She was invited to speak at various events, sharing her story of resilience and the importance of community. Each time she spoke, she felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that her journey could inspire others to overcome their challenges. One evening, after a successful speaking engagement, Maya received a message from a prominent fashion magazine. They wanted to feature her in an upcoming issue, highlighting her journey and her new collection. Excitement bubbled within her as she realized how far she had come. As she prepared for the magazine shoot, Maya reflected on her journey. She had transformed from a woman who felt lost and betrayed into a powerful force in the fashion world. The pain of her past had shaped her, but it no longer defined her. She was ready to embrace her future, filled with possibilities and new beginnings. On the day of the shoot, Maya stood in front of the camera feeling confident and empowered. The photographer captured her essence, and she felt a sense of joy radiating from within. This was her moment, a celebration of her journey, her strength, and her commitment to helping others. As the magazine hit the stands, Maya received an outpouring of support from her community. Messages flooded in from friends, family, and even strangers who were inspired by her story. It was a reminder that she was not alone in her journey. She had built a community that celebrated resilience and empowerment. With each passing day, Maya continued to thrive, both personally and professionally. She was living her dream, surrounded by a supportive network of friends and mentees who believed in her. The future was bright, and she was ready to embrace every moment of it. As Maya's new collection launched, the response was overwhelmingly positive. Fashion critics praised her designs for their boldness and the empowering messages they conveyed. Each piece told a story of resilience, strength, and the beauty of overcoming adversity. Maya felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing that her work resonated with so many people. The launch event was a grand affair, held at a chic venue in the heart of the city. Friends, family, and industry professionals gathered to celebrate her success. As she mingled with guests, Maya felt a sense of belonging and gratitude. She had come so far from the woman who once felt lost and alone. During the event, Maya took a moment to reflect on her journey. She thought about the challenges she had faced, the pain of betrayal, and the strength she had discovered within herself. It was a journey of transformation, and she was proud of the woman she had become. As the evening progressed, Maya took to the stage to address her guests. "Thank you all for being here tonight. This collection is not just about fashion. It's about empowerment and resilience. I want to dedicate this to everyone who has ever faced adversity. Remember, you have the strength to rise above it," she said, her voice filled with emotion. The audience erupted in applause, and Maya felt a wave of support wash over her. She knew that her journey was not just her own. It was a shared experience that connected her to others who had faced similar struggles. In the months that followed, Maya continued to expand her brand. She launched a campaign focused on mentorship, encouraging young women to pursue their dreams in the fashion industry. She partnered with local schools and organizations, providing resources and support to aspiring designers. The impact of her work was profound, and she felt fulfilled knowing she was making a difference. Maya also maintained her close relationships with her friends and mentees. They celebrated each other's successes, creating a tight-knit community that thrived on support and encouragement. Leela, now a rising star in the fashion world, often collaborated with Maya, and their bond grew stronger with each project. One day, as Maya was preparing for another mentorship workshop, she received a call from her lawyer. "Maya, I wanted to update you on Jake. He's made significant changes in his life and is seeking to make amends. He's reached out to me for advice on how to move forward," the lawyer explained. Maya felt a mix of emotions. While she was glad to hear that Jake was taking steps to better himself, she also knew that her journey was separate from his. "I appreciate the update, but I've moved on. I wish him well, but I'm focused on my own path now," she replied, her voice steady. With each passing day, Maya felt more empowered. She had built a life filled with purpose, creativity, and connection. The pain of her past had transformed into a powerful force that fueled her passion for fashion and mentorship. As she stood in her studio one afternoon, surrounded by sketches and fabrics, Maya felt a sense of peace. She had created a life that reflected her true self, and she was excited about the future. The possibilities were endless, and she was ready to embrace every opportunity that came her way. Maya's journey was a testament to the power of resilience and the importance of community. She had learned that while challenges may arise, it is how we respond that defines us. With her heart full of hope and determination, Maya stepped into the future, ready to inspire others and continue her journey of empowerment.